Good evening and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is January 22nd, 2016. My name is Lynn Marquidant and I'm your host. Welcome. And welcome to week number 2 and clue number 2 of our Oh Baby Baby Mystery Quilt. I'm so glad you could join me. And I'm so glad to see all of the colors online. This is really fun. I always forget how much fun these mysteries are, so thanks for playing. As you know, FiberCast is just all about what we can get done together in 60 minutes. So thanks for joining me. My name again is Lynn. Send me email at lmarquidant@gmail.com or post on the Simply Colorful sites. So, clue number 2. We're going to make a total of 5 units. And for Kathy K out there, I absolutely thank you for the feedback. I will tell you the finished size of each block, each of the 5 units as we go through. Please let me know if you have any questions about the clue, if something's not clear. Absolutely, just write a note, put it in Facebook, or send me email, and we'll fix that right up. That's the only way we can make it better, so thank you in advance. Okay, so last week we cut all of our clues out. This week, unit number 1 is literally going to be to make 4 units that literally will measure 2 inches by 2 inches when they're done, unfinished. And it's very easy. There are many ways to make these. The way I do it is, and I'm doing it this way, I've done it several different ways, is that I use my friction pen. I love this thing. I have not been steered wrong. It does always get ironed right off with my iron. What I do is, take 4 pieces of fabric E, which in my case is this dark gray, and 4 pieces of fabric A, which in my case is the white. And literally on one of them, I did it on the dark, I literally draw a line diagonally from point to point with my friction pen. And I did it 4 times. And I actually already did it, so I won't do all 4 here. But you do that, and then, and this is kind of, once you get this little trick that I'm going to show you about sewing literally 1 thread to the right or left of that line, you're going to be golden, and you're going to make purely 2-inch by 2-inch blocks. So now put right sides together, fabric A and E. And then literally, turn on my machine, I'm going to sew to the right of that line by 1 thread, because I want to give this side of my fabric enough little extra thread to fold over and open up and create the 2-incher. And I'm going to do all 4. I hope you can agree that 4 units is a pretty darn easy first mystery unit to make. And I've seen, in fact, some of you, I think, are through with this clue, which I love. Oh, this is by far my favorite part, is literally hearing the hum of the machine sewing the pieces. Happy Friday. Okay, so we'll do 1 more, and then we will iron the seams shut, set the seam. Then I'll show you how to cut the 1/4 of an inch and then iron it open. So here we go, we have our flags. If you could see it really closely, I don't think you can, you would see that I sewed one thread over. Look in the directions it shows you. Hopefully you can see it down at the bottom in that direction. Okay. So I literally set the seam, and then I get my scissors. I'm not even using my rotary cutter for this. For me, it's not necessary. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the same side as my seam. So, okay, the line goes down the middle, my seam's to the right 1 thread, I'm going to cut to the right, 1/4 of an inch. And when you iron it with your friction pen, the line goes away. So that's not so cool, but it's still very doable because I can tell that I sewed literally slightly off center. Okay, so there's 4. Literally, now you'll notice in my instructions I'm not very good about how to iron, and it's because that's the way I quilt. I'm not all that particular about perfect seams on the back. I wish I was, and I'm going to try and get better. In this quilt, it should work, at least for this first unit, to iron everything to your darkest color. So in this case, I'm ironing it toward my E fabric. And I literally, there's my 2-inch unit 1. And there's a second one, third one, fourth. I love this iron, but it has a little edge somewhere that catches every once in a while. So funny, it wrinkles my fabric. Okay, so believe it or not, there is unit number 1, 4 of them. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. Let's see where we put those. Right there. Unit 2A and 2B. We want 14 units of each. And I'm going to come over here. I made a sample of each one. And these are going to measure 2 inches by 3.5. So that is unit 2A. And again, that's fabric A and fabric E for me, which is my white and my gray. And then this is unit 2B. Now make sure you have 14 of each. 14 with your triangle on this side, 14 with your triangle here. I've tried to make it work with 28 all going the same way. There's no way that that's the same thing, no matter how you turn it. So you have to do 14 of each. And I know you've all been there. So get your pile of 2-inch by 3.5-inch A's, and then create 2 piles of your 2-inch E's, and do the same thing. Draw with your friction pen or any pencil. I have this works too, with your pencil. Literally go here, draw, and then once you have that done, for unit 2A, lay it down so that the line's going that way, and then sew to the right of the line a thread. And if there's anyone out there that doesn't understand why I'm saying sew it 1 thread to the right, let me know, and I'll try it again, or someone else could try explaining why. It's again, the reason is so that you have a little bit of extra play to fold it over such that your end resulting square is 2 inches by 3.5. If you sewed right on the line, you'd end up with something that was probably a little bit too small. Might be 1 15/16 inches by 3 7/16. It would not, you could make it work, but this little trick is just that little icing on the cake. You'd think if I were so worried about this, I would be worried about my which way I iron. And that's a point well taken. Okay, so let's see. I want to keep track of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've been seeing everyone's colors. I'm loving them. I know Allie is on her way caravanning again. She wrote and said she'll check in on us tomorrow. She's down under, and once she gets the campsite set up, she'll check in. She has her fabrics. Is it Sharon Dunbar? I'll look in a minute, is over in Ireland, so it's Saturday already, and she's written and said she has actually finished Clue 1, so way to go. That is great. I just thought of something. You know how I'm using the friction pen on this? I'm going to cut my 1/4 of an inch before I set the seam and iron. This is the longest clue, or these two are, 2A and 2B. Take the longest time, I believe, of this week's clue. It's so fun. So, how is everyone doing down in the snow belt? I have been thinking of you all day. And I heard people I worked with said they were closing the DC offices and the Virginia offices at noon. One of my coworkers who lives down outside of Nashville sent me a picture this morning. So it was 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock his time, and there was already 4 or 5 inches of very wet snow. It looked beautiful, but he said there was ice underneath, so I'm sure it's treacherous. And I must admit, I've not seen any news today because of all the work. Okay, so there's 1. Just have to count these again. 1. Don't you love this flag making? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to make 1 more. Okay, I had an extra because I made my sample. All right, those are 14 going that way. I'm just going to keep going. And now I'm going to make Unit 2B. So I hope that doesn't confuse you. So I've just made 14 of them going that way. Now I'm going to make Unit 2B with this going that way. And all it is just putting my fabric E on the other side and sewing to the left of the line. Probably the hardest part of this mystery quilt is trusting that there's a right way for these different units to go. And just, you know, it looks like you should be able to do all of them, all going the same way. And in some cases you can. That's what surprises me too. You're going to find that you'll know when we put it all together, you'll know what I mean. Just follow the directions, and if they're not clear, let me know. So I want to shout out to Chris and to Abby, who have been generous enough to find Karen, my sister, KB, and I, pajamas from Target to bring to our retreat. We are going to be styling. You know, the ones with the sewing machines on them that are pink and stretchy? Well, we're going to have them. And boy, so everything's moving ahead with the retreat. It's Unfortunately, it looks like it's all full. And I know a few of you had expressed interest, which makes me so happy, because that just means we should do this again. There's no reason why we can't. And so if you missed this time, we'll figure something out. Because it's a whole different thing, as you know, because I've done FiberCast from these different quilt retreats. There's nothing like immersing yourself in a couple of days of doing it. You can talk about things that you wouldn't talk about in your day-to-day life. It's just a fun, different. And for me, probably because Bob and I don't have children, it doesn't really matter, but I find it fascinating to hear other people talk about their children, so I live vicariously through them. And I love to hear the stories. Like one of my most fun things this past week was, remember that Nutcracker mouse doll I made a few weeks ago? It was pretty big, and it had the tutu. I sent it down to my friend's daughter, along with a picture of the daughter in her real costume, and it arrived, I think, the day that Lily, was going to ballet, and she called before she went to ballet, and she sent a picture of herself with her picture and the doll, and she was just so happy she was going to bring it to ballet, and that was really fun. So I get it why this whole giving thing is very fun. In fact, I was lying in bed the other night, and I was enjoying TV that had broken, and now my mother had fixed, last time she was up, I think at Thanksgiving, she fixed my TV upstairs. It hadn't been working for months. And so last night, or a few nights ago, I was up there and I was thoroughly enjoying watching TV, and I was under blankets, and I looked down and I noticed that I was under an Afghan that Mom had knit probably 20 years ago. And I loved it, and it was really fun. 20 years ago. And on the other side of the bed was an Afghan that Bob's grandmother knit for him 30 years ago. And actually she crocheted it. It's one of those granny square ones. Okay. So let's finish this units 2A and 2B, and then I want to check and see who's out there. So literally, what I'm going to do so I don't get goofed up is I'm going to split them. Okay. Those are units 2A, and these are units 2B. And now literally what I'm going to do, see, I told you I always end up with a few extra squares, which is not advisable. Because when I'm cutting, I don't take the time to measure. Okay, so I'm going to take one flag at a time. I'm going to look for where I drew the line. My seam is one thread over, and then I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch to the right. And just like a factory, I'm just going to do this. Tell you, I'm doing this mystery right with you. Although the blue mystery is all done, the baby boy. And in fact, I will be bringing that to Missouri. So anyone who is in the retreat with us is going to get a sneak peek at the finished product, because I just won't be able to contain myself. Okay. I haven't even counted these. I hope I have 14. Oh, hello. That was a ding. Let's see who's there. Let me count these first, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Who was that? Oh my goodness! Carrie Creswell, hello. What is up? She says, hi, I'm tuning in tonight. Hello. Funny you're doing a baby quilt. I'm starting to sew Kately's baby quilt, non-traditional as you know. Ooh, I can't wait to see it. She says, I will send you pics tomorrow after the open sew. She says, I didn't know there was an open sew tomorrow. I may come by. I've been working on many projects and keeping busy, planning a baby shower, lots of work. Brenna is at school and helping from there. Keep having fun, and she misses me. Oh, that's nice. I miss you too. I miss the meetings, and I can't wait to see your quilt, and maybe I'll drop by tomorrow for the open sew. It won't get snowed out, I don't think. I'm so glad you're there. Send us a picture of the baby quilt. That's wonderful. She must be due in a couple of months. 1, 2. Okay, so this is extra. So now I'm making Unit 2B. Let's go back to Units 2B. Oh, I sure hope this is right. Either that or we're going to have a lot of unit. All right. That's Unit 2A. Ah, here we go. Okay. My bad. I'm cutting off Unit 2A. We're good. We're good. We're good. It doesn't matter whether you call it Unit 2A or 2B. Just make sure you have 14 of each. Oh, and Deb L out there, I was so glad to see your flannels. How fun. And I know I forgot to come get those books last weekend. I'm sorry. I will call you. Maybe this weekend. Deb has some fairly current, if I recall, like 2011 to 2013 quilting magazines that I'm going to bring. You know, maybe I'll do that. Deb, I'll call you tomorrow. If you're home, I'll swing by, pick them up, and then I'll bring them to the open sew so that everyone at Marathon Quilters can take a look if they're interested. Okay, so, again, do you ever do this? Do you ever, like, literally iron the whole pile together? Sometimes that works. I tried to put this ironing machine a little bit closer in a different spot. Push down, remember, so as not to distort the fabric. So try to finger press it open and then press down with the iron. And then I always try to, like, for good or bad, I iron multiple ones on top of each other, thinking that if I'm giving the underlying ones double pressing, that's okay. And again, this clue, hopefully, it isn't too much. It's a baby quilt. All right, so I'm going a little backwards, but here's 2B. 14 units. They measure 2 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put those aside. few extra. Oh, and I have a UFO to share with you. My first UFO is finished. A UFO finish. In fact, I will get it ready. What do you think? Remember, she was doll parts, and now she is a ballerina. So she's done, and I actually started another one around the same time that's almost done, and I should have her ready for you tomorrow, next week. But of course, that one wasn't on the UFO list, so I can't count her. So again, Google Hangouts has sound effects. Oh my goodness. Okay. Almost done with Clue 2. I mean with Unit 2. I hope these units and clue numbers aren't getting you confused. I was thinking maybe I should be using ABCs or week 1, 2, 3 in unit ABC, but I don't know. It's not like there are 100 clues, so we should be okay. And I'm always, and actually my sister is too, and others out there, help each other, ask questions if you have any questions, and we'll just figure it out. Okay, so Unit 2A, 14 of them are done. It ends up measuring 2 inches by 3.5. Okay, so let's put that there. Who else is out there? Let me see. KB's out there. Hi, KB. Did I make you laugh? I liked the applause too, I must admit, for no other reason than to make you laugh. Oh, I'm glad you're out there. Who else is out there? Let's see. Oh, hi everyone. So Beth, hi Beth. We're going to see you soon. Beth says, hi Lynn and Fibercasters. While waiting on the snow to arrive here in South Carolina, I'm working on a little wall hanging of tulips. She says, I really want to do the mystery quilt, but I have 172 projects calling at the same time. What's a quilter to do? Stay warm and safe out there, and says Beth Allen. Oh, I like that. Are you also doing these by hand? I know you do a lot of hand work. And miniature size too, right? I can't wait to meet you in person and see your work in person. Very cool. And let us know how the snow is. Brenda, hi Brenda, says, hello, I just got these quilts back from my quilter, now to get them bound. That's what I'm doing. And she says, thanks for the mystery clues. Oh, I love them. Oh, okay. Oh, good for you for keeping it consistent. I like your restraint on that one. I really do. You've offset your, is it 9 patches? And you've kept to a palette of not too many. Let's see. Is there another one here? I think I saw another one, but for some reason it's not showing. Let me see if I can get this on the bigger screen. Okay, it's checking for mail. Download. All right. Brenda, it's loading right now, and I'm hoping it shows me more. Yep, it did. Isn't that interesting? Brenda, you've been busy. So here is a pinwheel. Then, I don't know the name of that one. And then there's your 9-patch offset. Very nice. I like your consistency. Welcome. Oh, and Mickey says, or Lisa. Yep, Mickey is my last name, she says. You read my mind, Lisa. That's funny. She says she's so ready for tonight's show. Me too. I hope you're having fun. Flying Pecan is the name of this one. And this is Mary Beth's UFO. Mary Beth says, hi from Texas to you and everyone. She says, TGIF FiberCast. She says, I'm hand-stitching the lining to my UFO bucket hat tonight. Sometimes it's the simplest things that make us smile, like saying, Rick-rack rabbits. Have a nice weekend, Mary Beth. Oh, that's great. Oh, those are lovely. Look at these hats. Aren't those perfect in a garden when you're out gardening or when you're doing anything out and about in the sunshine? Those are beautiful. Really like that. They look well done too. I'm interested, is the shade, there must be some sort of a fiber text or something inside, Timtex, is that what it is? To keep your shade. That's nice. Oh, Joyce is out there. Hi, Joyce L. She says, I'm glad to be able to catch you tonight before the storm really gets going. She says, we are expecting the high winds, so I'll probably lose power for at least 2 days. Ah. She says, we are in the 12 to 18 inches band. I might be sewing my Mystery Clue 1 on the treadle by the window. Oh, if you do that, send a picture. I love that. I've been real busy with a sick cat. Oh, she has an inner ear infection and a very high temperature. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But she says it's finally down and she's just starting to eat. Joyce, I'm so glad to hear that. I am not, I don't know much about cats, and I learned a little bit about them last summer with my mom's cat, and when they don't eat, it's not a good thing, and it happens very quickly. So that's about all I know about cats, but I'm thrilled to hear she's eating. And I'm sure that made you worry. That's really tough. She says, thanks for FiberCast, Joyce in Maryland. Well, that 12 to 18-inch band is heading your way. Stay warm. And again, if you do sew something on the treadle, send us a picture. That would be really fun. Oh, baby, says Deb. Deb L, she says, oh, baby, it's cold inside. Oh, no. She says, no heat inside. The oil company is back for the 3rd time today. Oh. Sewed some on the mystery quilt this afternoon, but we'll be watching you from the family room in front of the fire tonight. Thanks for doing another mystery. It's fun. Wow, Deb. Oh, I hope you're warm. And hi, Kevin. I hope you're warm, too. Oh, classic, isn't it? Maureen in Pennsylvania, hi. She says, hi, Lynn. I'm hoping to have a great show tonight. Oh, and I'll catch you later. I'm working right now. Ooh. Okay, work hard. By the time you see this, your work will be done, and I hope you're kicking back with a cup of coffee or a piece of chocolate, because I know you like chocolate. Ooh, Deb Linehan again. She talks about the Afghan. Deb is Bob's cousin. And remember 10 minutes ago I was talking about the Afghans? Deb says all the cousins have the granny square Afghans that Grammy made us. Aw. Wow, that gives me goosebumps. We sleep under it every night. Okay, Marquet. She says, great to see you and hear your voice. Hi, Marquet. She says, hello, Lynn, hello, Karen, and hello to the FiberCast gang. It's so hard not to play with you gals on this mystery, but as I stated last night, I have too many projects going right now, and I am so behind. Oh. And Marquet says having a mother that has Alzheimer's doesn't help. But if anyone else is dealing with that, they know what I am talking about. Yes. Yes, they do. And talk to them about it. You can't do this alone. She says, oh, well, one day I will finish, and I am determined this year will be that year. Wonderful. So happy we have electricity, Marquet says, so I'm able to watch you tonight as we have 16.5 inches of snow here, and it's still falling, and that was a measurement from around 5 p.m., so I'm sure there is more. Marquez in Kentucky. Wow. I've been thinking of you and wondering. I'm glad you still have electricity. She says she loves the look of the studio. That beautiful quilt on the wall makes your space seem so fresh and makes your space look like a classic car. Oh, thank you. You look so spiffy tonight. Also love the scarf. Hope you had a great weekend. Have a great trip when you visit Missouri Star. Happy sewing, Marquez. Thank you, Marquez. An old scarf, a new pin that my sister gave me that I had not worn before. So thank you. Let's get on to another clue, and then we'll get back to reading more of your emails. Okay, so we'll turn the page. Unit 3. Unit 3, the end sizes are literally going to be 2 inches by 5 inches. And all it is sewing 3 squares together. And 3 of your 2-inch squares. So get 16 2 by 2 inch squares of fabric A and 8 squares of 2 by 2 squares of fabric B. And then literally just, I don't pin these at all, I just put right sides together and run 8. I'm going to do 7 because I've already made one. Just run 7 through the machine. Test your 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I still use my old grocery rewards card from Star Market. I think I have this card from when I lived in Norwood 30 years ago. Is anyone like me and can't part with old credit cards or old like store cards? I have piles of them. Although now when new credit cards come in, like the new chip ones have been coming in the last couple of months, I definitely shred the old one right away. Because, knowing me, I would get them confused. It's like old batteries. Don't ever save old batteries, because then you never know if they're old or new. That's my words of wisdom today, and I'm sticking by it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still sewing with my left foot, by the way. For anyone who has carpal tunnel or repetitive wrist soreness, and your doctor has said switch to the other hand, I have heard, including from my sister, that it does help. And I can attest that doing the same thing with my feet, switching from my sewing pedal from my right to my left, has helped that plantar fasciitis. So that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven. Okay, these I can iron because I don't have any friction pen on them. I have to see. Okay. And then I'm going to try and get tricky. I'm not even going to cut them. That doesn't matter. I should cut them. Yeah, what am I doing? Iron them open, then cut them. I love quilt making. I love quilt making for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons I believe I like it, aside from sort of the OCD thing about putting things in their place and maintaining control and all of that, feeling somehow better when things are in their place, or is I love all the decisions that you make and that you can make and that you can change your mind. I love that part of it. And how you can create the same blocks in many different ways. Because we are building. We're like engineers. Okay, so now we're just going to sew a 2.5-inch square on the other side. It's as simple as this. I can move her out of the way. Gee, sorry about that. Oh, if Sarah is out there, the bracelets, the beaded bracelets you've been making are beautiful. Everyone is so creative out there. I love seeing everything. Norma, I follow your rustic cabins. I saw that you were following a couple of different websites with rustic cabins, and I started to follow it too, and I love seeing those. What else is new? Let's see. I've got some of my travel set up, and more will be set up for this spring. So that'll start up again. Nothing really exotic. The places are pretty. I've been there before, DC. California might be fun, Northern California. Lots of trips to DC, Orlando. Okay. There we go. And maybe the internet is better. And again, I'm going to press on all of these. I'm pressing toward the inside fabric B, which is darker. And maybe when I go on my travels now, the internet will be a little better and I can try some remote FiberCasts. Famous last words, though. Let's just get through Missouri. Because I know it's more interesting to watch going different places. But boy, I love just being right here sewing with you. Okay, Unit 3 is done. I have 8 of them. So we'll put that one aside. Now, Unit 4 is literally 6 of the same square. Same three squares. It'll end up measuring 2 inches by 5.5. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. 2 by 5. 2 by 5. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So same drill. Put 6 2-inch by 2-inch fabric D together and 12 2-inch by 2-inch of fabric A. Same drill because I've already done one. I'm going to do 5 of these. See what I just did? I rotated the top and bottom. It won't matter on this one. Sometimes it does. Can you hear the band? You're downstairs. Speaking of batteries and band, a couple of nights ago Bob said we blew one of our speakers downstairs in the band. And he went online. He's so good. He will learn everything there is to learn about whatever he needs to learn it about on that YouTube. And so he was reading about how to check to see if you've really blown a speaker. And there's a test. Maybe you know this out there. You can literally take the face off your speaker so that you have the cone of the speaker. And underneath, you can take a battery. So he took a battery, and you can put it underneath to the leads, the electrical leads going to that cone. And if that battery makes the cone move, vibrate, then I guess you haven't blown the speaker. So of course he needed a battery, and that's where that whole battery comment came in, because we had some loose batteries in the junk drawer, and of course next thing I know I look over and he's putting it on his tongue to see if it works, if he gets a jolt. So good batteries keep in the plastic, bad batteries throw out. See what we talk about on FiberCast? Gripping. All right. This is such a pretty pink, and as you remember, this is the one that I switched out this pink, and I like it a lot. So I put this away. There. Oh, and I've been basting. I have basting my quilts, my unfinished quilts. Literally, I have 3 of them basted. So that feels really good. And my Bernina is in the shop. I brought it over to Wayside 3 weeks ago, and I didn't pay to expedite the cleaning. I just thought I would. I had plenty to do with this, and I would just see how it goes. I called them earlier this week, and he said the tech was coming in today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And so I should have it back next week. So that'll be good. And so the reason I mentioned that is that's what I'm going to quilt these quilts with. They're all small enough. And so I'll have more UFOs, finished UFOs. So they're UFOs, meaning unfinished objects. When they're finished UFOs, what are they? They're not UFOs anymore. Huh. Oh, this is pretty. I hope I'm showing you these. Probably am not. And then I just literally cut it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's unit 4. Literally it measures 2 inches by 5 inches, and there are 6 of them. And we will put that right there. So we're getting lots of little piles of units. We have unit 5 left. And before we make that one, I use the term make loosely for those of you who have read ahead. Let's see who else is out there. Marquet, I hope you're feeling better, by the way. For those of you, I know that there are a lot of flus going around, or colds. Okay, so hello. There's a message here. Tonight I'm just watching and enjoying fun FiberCast. No sewing on the mystery quilt till next week because I dropped my machine off yesterday for its well-needed cleaning. Oh, and she misses me at the meetings, so I wonder who that's from. Well, hello. 50. Oh, I bet that might be Cindy. Hi. The reason I'm questioning it is it's coming in as a phone number, but so glad to have you out there. Joanne says doll. She is beautiful. Oh, thank you. Glad to catch you tonight. I'm going to pick up my knitting, working on a sweater for my granddaughter, Joanna in Oregon. Oh, that's good. Send us a picture. Sarah is a huge knitter, as you know, as are many people. My mother's a big knitter. In fact, she made her sister some mittens. In fact, I'm going to get this for you. You have to see these mittens. They're amazing. She made her sister mittens for her birthday. It's downloading. Here it comes. Aren't those something? And she used yarn that she had on hand. In fact, I called her one Saturday, and she said she was down to the thumb, maybe last Saturday because she just finished these. She was down to the thumb, and she said she had like 3 feet of the black yarn left. So, Mom, it looks like you made it. Beautiful. So, Joanna, that's great that you're knitting and that you're in Oregon. Daniel, hi, also from the West Coast, from Washington. He says, hello, tuning in from Ephrata, Washington this evening. Not sewing for me tonight, but happy to be following along. Daniel. And he says, I'm new to streaming, so was unsure to use email or YouTube chat, so I tried both. Perfect. Perfect. There are many channels, and to tell you the truth, some days I get confused over which channel I'm reading. So thanks for joining us, and we would all love to see your work and what you work on. Diane, hi. AKA Gypsy's mom. Diane says, hi, I had a FiberCast weekend. She watched all of them, and you mentioned needing a new pair of gloves for free motion quilting. Yes, I do. She says, I bought a pair of garden gloves, cheap, with rubber-type dots on the fingers and palms. They would be great and don't break the bank. Thank you, Diane. That is a great tip. Because that is a great tip. Thank you. And she says, I love the show. And she's watching. It's awesome. Thank you for that tip. For those of you who may have missed that one, I have when you're machine quilting, you wear the gloves that have lots of little rubber dots on them. And I've worn them out and I have some holes. And they're really good because they grip the quilt and it allows you to push it through the machine. But they're expensive when you buy them in the quilt stores. So that's a good place to save, especially with the price of fabric going up. I'd rather spend my money on good quality fabric than those gloves. For me, that's just me. Margaret, hi! She likes my ballerina. Thank you, Margaret. Did you see the Swarovski crystal on her toes? I might still do a few more beads around her belly, but I put some beads in her hair. It's hard to see. And to tell you the truth, I've been holding off on finishing her because of the engineering of getting her on the stand. But I finally figured that out. I had to put a dowel back up. I had to basically cut her toe off and put a wooden dowel back up through her leg and then drill a hole into this and put it down. So anyway, thank you. She says, I'm enjoying watching your mystery quilt. I'm not motivated to quilt right now. I hear you. We go in spurts. Just wondering how you can figure out how to stitch one stitch in from your diagonal line on a vintage machine. Are you just eyeballing it? So I won't even go further. Yes, I am eyeballing it. And on this machine, the foot itself is very small. But where the needle goes down, I can see literally the line and where my seam is, enough to see 2 of those. And when I say I'm stitching 1 thread over, might be 2, might be 3. If you really look closely, the line is a little wobbly. But yes, I'm eyeballing it right next to the line. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you this. Probably not. Yes, so I'm eyeballing it. So, Maggie says, I bought myself a 1960 New Home Simplicity machine, an early Janome, and I'm loving it. Oh, I bet it's wonderful. Is it all metal? This thing, it's my favorite machine now. Oh, that is great. She says, my sister-in-law is a member of Amoski Quilters, and she invited me to join them at the end of July for a road trip to Maine to a quilt festival up there. I've been to the Vermont Quilt Festival, but Maine will be something new to check out. I'm so glad we aren't getting all that snow. Take care, says Maggie in New Hampshire. Maggie, I'm so glad that you dialed in, and I'm so glad you're going to experience a new quilt festival. I've never been to the main one either. You have to tell us about it. And you know what? When the mood strikes, you're going to be quilting again. Maybe taking pictures of quilts will be fun, or drawing quilts, or making dolls. Try something completely new. If there's one thing that I was thinking about this week, looking at the excitement of people who have made their very first quilt, and I thought there's nothing like that when you see whether it's an adult or a child holding up their first quilt and being so proud of it. I thought to myself, if I want to try and get that back, and I think that's what doll making has done, because it's new. And it's really fun to kind of discover that I can do it. So maybe there's something new and different that will jazz you, and you'll see it in Maine. And I also am glad we're not getting too much snow, although it is pretty. But I'm with you. Oh, Brenda. Oh, this is good. Marquet, this is for you. So Brenda says, oh my mother has Alzheimer's. And she says it is not fun being a caretaker because of the memories. She said, Brenda says she's 96, and it is sad that my grandma can't remember. But I would not want anyone else caring for her. I understand that. Marquet, do you take care of your mother, or is she, I don't think she lives with you, does she? So, Brenda, so you know exactly about the situation. The weather here in Washington State is 50 degrees, but at nights get down to 30. She says, I thank you for FiberCast. Have a great time with the quilt retreat. What is the name of the pattern that is hanging on your wall tonight? Happy sewing, Brenda. Well, good question. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up. I want to say it came from, is there a fabric called Nottingham fabric? I think I found it on some fabric site, and it was a free pattern. And I may have altered it too, to tell you the truth, because I think I had the leftover half-square triangles from the Jack's quilt. But I'll try and find out what that was, and I'll tell you next week. Take care. And give your grandma a hug. Grace, hi. She says hello from No Snow, Ohio. Yay. She says, I used to sew for a costume shop, and when it comes to carpal tunnel in your ankle, I'm a firm believer. Did nothing but sew for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and my ankle hurt. She says, I don't sew that much anymore, and the pain isn't there. I'll be darned. She says, tonight I'm working on a quilt for my aunt, who needs it by March. I have to sew more rows up as it's too short. Oh, isn't that pretty? Check these colors out. Oh, I like that a lot. It's very springy. It goes with your no snow theme. Very nice, and that's very interesting to know about your ankle. Costume shop. That must have been fun. I've often wondered what that would be like. I'm sure every job has its ups and downs. Thanks, Grace. And we're going to do one more, and then to round out and finish off tonight's FiberCast, we're going to do unit number 5. So one final hello, everyone, from Kathy K. Hi, Kathy K. She says, sorry I tuned in late. Love how everything is working. Hope all is well. Stay inside where it's warm and just quilt until you drop. That's a plan, Kathy K. So let's get to unit number 5, which measures, Kathy K., thank you for your input, by the way, on the size. Unit 5 measures 2 by 2, and literally, you know this is kind of a joke, literally I want you to put 18 Fabric C 2 by 2s aside in this pile. So with that, in summary, what you want at the end of this clue is you want 4 unit 1s, 2 inches by 2 inches. You want 14 unit 2As, 2 inches by 3.5 inches. 14 unit 2Bs, 2 inches by 3.5. 8 unit 3s, 2 inches by 5. 6 unit 4s, and I may have those reversed, 2 by 5, and then 18 unit 5s. Put those all aside in a safe place and get ready for next week's clue. And have a wonderful weekend. Stay warm. Keep sewing. Do whatever you want to do. She's dancing a little bit. And thanks for joining me. It was really fun, everyone. Bye.